Hi, I'm Steve Rappaport. I'm the Knowledge Solutions Director for the Advertising Research Foundation, and I'm the author of Listen First, Turning Social Media Conversations into Business Advantage. I'm talking today with Lisa Joy Rosner, who's the head of marketing for NetBase. So Lisa, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having me,
It's our
Steve.
pleasure. Yeah, so tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about NetBase.
Okay, my name is Lisa Joy Rosner. I'm the CMO of NetBase, and I've been in this market for the last couple years, and I've been working with the largest brands in the world on helping them understand what consumers are saying about their brands online, and not just that, but understanding the passion levels that consumers feel for their products.
Yeah, I wanted to talk with you about that because one of the strengths of your approach is being able to analyze, really get down very granular at the sentence level. But now you're getting it more into emotion, because you've got a love, a love
brand passion index.
A brand passion index. So tell us about that.
Okay.
And tell us about really what you're trying to get at with this.
Okay, so you talked a little bit about what we do. What we do is we read and understand the English language. We literally, just like in grade school, parse out sentences to get at the meaning. And what that enables us to do is understand why consumers love a product and how emotionally intense they feel about a product, whether they love it, whether they hate it, whether they're just, and also why. I love this product because it makes me feel good. I love this product because of the smell. I love this product because of the taste. And so we're helping the largest brands in the world understand the passion levels and then the drivers behind that passion.
Yeah. And once they do, what can they do with it?
Well, there's all kinds of different things they can do with it. For example, we work with Coca-Cola. And one of the things that they recently found out is that bodybuilders are talking about Coke Zero.
Bodybuilders?
Bodybuilders. They were looking in the NetBase workbench and parsing out by different source types. And they saw bodybuilder.forum.com, and in there were all kinds of conversations about how bodybuilders are drinking Coke Zero.
Really?
Not a demographic that they really had been targeting. And so really interesting. And not only are they learning about who's drinking it, but the words they use to describe the situations in which they consume this product. And that just can drive a whole new element to their strategy.
Yeah, and so have you seen them use it to do things like develop content, develop advertising, web materials?
So all of our customers right now are at the point where they've discovered some insights and they're getting ready to take action on that. I mean, this is cutting edge technology.
No, I know. Yeah.
And so we're at the point right now where people are just starting to learn what's going on and why, and they're starting to integrate that into their plans for 2012 and beyond. So I think it's going to be a few years before I can come back to you and say that advertising campaign, that new product was powered by NetBase. But I do have one story for you.
Good.
One of the very first products that we did a deep analysis on was Listerine. Product, everybody knows Listerine. We did what's called an ethnography, taking the ethnographic process online, using the NetBase workbench to really understand how consumers are using the product. And one of the things that we do are look at the pros and the cons, what people love, what people hate, and so on about a product. Now, what's really interesting in the word cloud, on the positive, we saw harsh. I know Listerine works because it's harsh, but then I hate Listerine because it's harsh. So it's really, really interesting that the same word shows up at both a positive and a negative. The word itself, harsh, the sentiment of that word can be negative, but because we read language, we understand that in some cases it's a good thing, and in some cases it's a bad thing. Well, we did this whole ethnographic study on Listerine. We found out that people are using Listerine to kill athlete's foot, to get rid of mosquitoes, to get rid of dandruff, to cure acne. I mean, think about all the different agents that are there to kill germs in your mouth that can work for all other purposes. Well, after we did the ethnographic study, we made lots of different recommendations. And one of them was to create what we called a soothing power Listerine, a Listerine that wasn't quite as harsh. We did that independent study in February of 2010. And now they're not a customer, but we published that study everywhere. And interestingly, about 8 months later, they released a new product and it's called Listerine Zero, with a less harsh flavor. So even though today it's still quite new to adopt advanced listening technologies and see how they power the entire process, but we already today have seen an insight with an actionable recommendation happen in the marketplace.
Yeah. What do you think it'll take for more of these listening-based insights to be adopted or implemented in a company?
I think it's a matter of trust. I think we're seeing the real early adopter community start integrating social, all facets of social, into their marketing strategy across the life cycle, from customer engagement to promotion and into the whole research community. It's going to take a few success stories for people, for the mass to start adopting this technique. And I think it's going to take a few tests and some wins for people to cross that chasm.
Yeah. But you see this evidence starting to mount?
We're starting to see it. I mean, we've been evangelizing and educating the market for the last 2 years. And I mean, literally, we've been doing these educational programs, and we've gone from a year ago where we had about 70 people show up to over 2,000 people showing up. So I think that people at first were a little bit intimidated, but now they're ready and they want to learn.
That's what I've seen too. Because at the ARF, we've been involved with listening now for about 3 years. And 3 years ago, it was, what is it? Just what?
Where do I start?
And now it's, at least the companies that I talk with, there's an interest, there's more knowledge about it, and some companies have done experiments and tests, but what they want now is to really figure out how to integrate it into their business and move it from a project to really a continuous kind of measurement and insight system that allows them. Have you seen that?
The companies that are having great success is when they allocate an individual to be their social media strategist. That's part of the formula, and that person galvanizes all the different departments around social, so that it's not just about marketing, it's not just about research, it's not just about social CRM, it's about having a 360-degree view around how social fits into your business. When you have that one galvanizing, catalyzing force, then everyone gets behind it. The other problem is budget. A lot of companies, up until the last year, they were tin cupping to try to find a social media budget. But now companies, I would say at least 85% of companies have some form of a social media budget.
Yeah. And why do you think that is?
That they're jumping on board?
Yeah.
Because it's working. I mean, 2/3 of the world's internet users are engaged in social media. There are over 500 million people on Facebook. There are over 300 million bloggers talking about your product with passion every day.
Yeah.
And so the brands that really want to stay connected to their customer. I mean, look, Joe from Coke this morning talked about it's not impressions, it's about expressions.
Right.
Customers are expressing how they feel, how passionate they are about your brands, and why.
Right.
And now the brands that have figured out that if they can tap into that and understand that they can capitalize on the human interaction and connect to their customers and understand those expressions and satisfy customers.
That is a perfect ending to our discussion. Thank you so much for talking with us, and thank you, for exhibiting and being part of, this very successful conference.
Well, and thank you so much for having me. We love partnering with the ARF.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.